Hi, I'm Craig Ketchum, and I'm a podcast ninja for Piper Creative. There's a lot of people who are hustlers, and they come out with 1, 2, maybe 3 pieces of content every day, and you're probably wondering, how do I keep up? Well, the secret is they're not doing it alone. They have a team of people working on it with them. So I'm going to teach you how to shoot, edit, and package content ready to be published through a process that we call the Podcast Ninja. Not everyone's used to being around cameras and equipment, so the quicker you can set up and the more at ease you can make the guest feel, the better. When you're in the space, you want to make sure to make the guests comfortable, and part of that is just looking professional. You want to make sure that they're in good hands. First, you're going to want to make sure that all of your equipment is ready to shoot. That means your camera is fully charged, you have a backup battery, memory cards are wiped, and in the proper format for shooting. When you're setting up your tripod, make sure that you're shooting in the direction of the light. That's going to ensure that the person in the frame looks good and doesn't have shadows all over their face, and you can see their facial expressions. If you only have one camera, use that camera to get a wide shot. We're going to want to see both sides of the conversation. If you have 2 cameras, set up an extra one with a close-up on the face of the interviewee. When you're framing the shot, make sure there's plenty of room above the subject's head and in front of their face. You want to make sure that you have a view of both cameras. In case anything goes wrong, you can take care of it as soon as possible and you don't miss any important key moments. One of the reasons it's so important to have a good view of your camera is you need to know the recording times. Certain cameras will max out at 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you need to make sure to start the recording process over again before that happens. We use a PreSonus AudioBox i2 to collect audio. First, plug it into the computer, and then open your audio recording software. Make sure that it is recording the AudioBox i2. Now, plug your microphone in and put on your headset. You're ready to go. So one of the things that we do to promote our videos is we take video while we're there for Instagram stories. When you do this, you want to make sure that the volume is off so there's no unnecessary distractions, and you want to try and be as quick and efficient as possible. Don't spend too much time on the phone. Because you were in the room where it happened, the next part of your job should be pretty easy. Putting a podcast together is relatively simple. You take the audio, you blend it with the video, and make sure it all lines up. After that, add a thumbnail, a few effects, and you're good to go. Now, here's where we get to get creative. Now that you have this content, you get to take a snippet of it and put it in whatever media suits you. Let's go into Premiere and see how this is done. Okay, now that we have Premiere Pro open, we're going to select the video that we want to make micro content out of. I've already gone ahead and taken a little practice piece of Tori talking about SOPs, so that's going to be our content for today. Normally, when you're picking this, you want to look for something that's somewhere between a minute to 3.5 minutes or a little bit longer, but be aware of the time restrictions for each platform. Instagram, for example, there's a 60-second cap for videos unless you're making an Instagram TV video. So just be aware of that when you're picking your content. You'll see I haven't put all of the bells and whistles on this. There's some captions that I didn't fill out. I just wanted to show an example of what those look like. But let's start off with the video itself, the framing of it. So this video was not shot in a square frame, so we actually had to go do sequence settings, and then it should be 1920 by 1080 when you shoot it. Yeah, something like that. So we go in there, we make sure that it is a 1-to-1 ratio. So for this one, it's going to be 1080 by 1080. And you hit OK. It should ask you if that's all right. It'll ask you, are you sure you want to do this? And you'll say, yes, I am sure I want to do this because I'm an expert. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that it's in the right position. I think she looks really good in this place. There's room in front of her here, and you'll see it would look a lot better than, if she's out of the frame here, or if she's, all the way over here. It wouldn't be framed as nicely. So I think this is a good around here is a good place for her. And you do that by going, you select the clip that you want to do, you go to the effects controls, and you mess around with the position. And now the next thing I did is I added these time bars. So I'm going to play this and give you guys an example of what this looks like.
Let's specifically use the Podcast Ninja as an example.
All right, so the way I did that, I'm going to delete these and just go through that process for you. What I did was I go over to New Item, Color Matte. The height for this is good at about 60. And then the first one, I made a gray color matte. You honestly don't even need this background one. I just think it looks a little bit nicer. But this is just to highlight this second one. So you go color matte. We're going to do 60 again. I'm going to actually just grab this exact color there. So we're making sure things are staying the same color. And let's call this one red matte, because we are going to have to know the difference between these two in a second here. So we're going to position these again. Let's drop this one here. That looks good. That's about a good size. It's pretty thin. So let's go like that. Yeah, that might even be a little too thin. Maybe a little bit thicker is good, but I think for right now, that's all right. All right, so we are going to go to Effects. And I went over here in Effects. I searched for Crop. Under Transform, we're going to drag this crop, and we are going to drop it on the red one. And now to show you, we are going to start at the very beginning of the video. And what we want to do is, so we're going to use right to do this, and we are going to, at 100%, drop a keyframe. So this is the beginning of the video. So it's not, you do not see the red one at all. We're going to go to the end of this clip. All I did there was just hit end. It took me right there. And we're going to drop it to 0. And as you'll be able to see,
let's specifically use
now we
the
have
Podcast
a
Ninja
time
as
bar
an
that
example.
plays for the length of the video. So next thing I did, I will show you this this title. Very easy to make. I went File, New, Legacy Title. Name it something like Title. Over on this side, it's, stretch this out so you can see it, hopefully. Oh, that didn't work. Over on this side is where you'll be able to select some of your, color options and stuff for the font. So I'll make sure this is. Oh, look at that font. So if we wanted to, if we were promoting a punk show, this would be a perfect font. But since we are not, we are promoting Piper. Let's use a Piper font. What's one that we like to use? We like to use Bico a lot. See, these don't really match, so I'd probably stick with one font, but I just wanted to show you guys how that one is made, so I'm going to delete it. But then once you do it, once you close out, it's going to appear down here just like this one. This is the title one I made, and then you drag it right there into your sequence. The next thing I did is the captions. Captions are super important. You go New Item, Captions, make them open captions, and then hit OK. You're gonna drag these onto the sequence, make sure that's the full thing, and then you can see here you can each caption is gonna have its own time length. So now I have 3 different captions, and each one of them is going to be 2 seconds long. You can see that the out and in values between captions are the same. That's going to ensure that they go directly from 1 to 2 to 3 without any gaps in between. So now we can see how this would look.
Let's specifically use the Podcast Ninja as an example. We first share with them an SOP, which is
so you can see that those are pretty valuable, and then you'll fill this all the way out. like I said, I'm not going to go through with the one we have and do that. We're just going to stick with this. And then I'm going to add some cross dissolves to get us out for this little ending we got here. The way to do that on a Windows computer is Control D or Command D if you're on a Mac. And try and make sure they're all about the same value. Let's see if this looks good.
The job.
What I did for this final one, I'm gonna show you the keyframes that I did. I'm not gonna go through and do this all over again, but I will show you the keyframes. So we have at the very start of this, for the logo, we have it scaled to 0 so that by the time it gets here, where the bass comes in for the Piper sound, by that point it's already grown to be nice and big. And down here, I added a Gaussian blur. That's just gonna make it like fuzzy coming in, and then it's gonna get real clear. So it has like a nice sort of like coming into focus effect. And then I just added another keyframe at the end so that over this period of time, it slowly gets bigger. I think that looks pretty nice. I also, in the background, I just dropped a, I just call it a white card. It's just a square, and I colored it white, and you do that through the legacy title that we made our title with as well. So those are the tricks that I put on each piece of micro content. I hope you guys liked this video. We're hoping that it gives you the tools you need to create great content. Let us know if you have any questions or any feedback, and we can't wait to see what you create.